welcome to Blue Lamp Model Expo 2024. How exciting. I've never actually been to this show before. Our first table and hosts West Midlands Police Model Club. This is a really varied and lovely display. I've never seen an Airspeed Horser glider at this scale either. I don't know if it was a scratch build or whether it was a kit, but it looked magnificent. The Gundam figures, including the lighting package on that one at the end, look amazing. As usual, I have tried to not intervene with other people who try and look at displays, so you may notice people in the middle of displays, but that is what it is. I do also really love this Dornier Sky Servant. It's always such a quirky looking aircraft, and this is a fantastic representation. Now, I've only watched a few series of Gundam, so I'm no expert, but I really do love how much character and style they bring to modern model shows, especially the lighting is just insane. And of course, how can we go about a humble police officer? So we then move on to large scale planes, and I can never get over seeing large scale Lancasters and really anything. I barely have room for 1/72nd, so. And as we go through the table, we go on to friend of the channel, Sully's Scale Models. And Sully has been known for quite a while now, and they are one of the most talented modelers I have ever met and ever seen. I can never get over how amazing their work is, especially seeing it in person. It just really brought it to life, although I apologise if a few bits are out of focus. I have heard so much about this chipmunk, and I've read much about it as well, and it's been put here with a comment talking about how this is an abortive model, which is something. And this TSR2 in Splinter Swedish camo is spectacular. A more recent build is this Tomcat, which again looks awesome. And then we have a Tornado in Gulf War colours too. Oh, and this lovely lady sitting on the wing of a P-51. We have some Warhammer as well, and the Orchid just looks absolutely fantastic. And of course, this is in the competition area. We have the Sea King, which was abandoned and turned into a chicken coop, and I just love it so much. We also have the Gannet as well, another recent release from Affix, also done in an abandoned style. I couldn't see if this had another group name, but I saw it as 21st Army Group. And this was a really busy table, but again, a lot of going on here, a lot of character, and it was just absolutely lovely. Really enjoyed seeing this. Sorry, a couple of bits might be out of focus throughout this video. I have got a new camera, and this is my first time using it at a show. It took a bit of getting used to, really honest. Now, this here I'm assuming is the KP kit of the Miles Messenger. And I just like the variety of the dioramas here. Nothing's really ever the same. I do like a lot of bagpipers as well, which is nice to see. And although I'm not a vehicle builder myself, it's nice to see vehicles where they sort of built the inside of the truck. It really does make it a lot more interesting, in my opinion. And again, as someone who doesn't build vehicles at all, I just really love that. I wonder how it would have been flying on one of these. They look so cool. And there we go, the interiors all know. I just think they look so great. Amazing that. And here's one of the bagpipers. How do you get the turn on that? Mad. We move on to Shropshire Scale Modelers, who had a lot of dioramas. There's less pictures because there's a lot of dioramas, which I'll try to go through relatively slowly. I just thought this was really, really cool display. So much character and personality throughout all of this tape. And a model show wouldn't be complete without some marble, and also sort of, do we call these statues, portraits, vignettes, and a couple of 1/72 scale aircraft at the end, including the Yugoslavian parasol aircraft. Now this is the Arsenal VG33, lovely, lovely aircraft, very underrepresented. And here we have the IK2, followed by a Saxon Guard. Now, this display didn't have a name, so I'm unsure which club this might belong to. If you do know, let me know in the comments. I'll certainly add it into the description and to the chapters if I do remember to do that. But a really massive display. I went across, I think, honestly, like 2 or 3 tables here, and then they also went over to another table on the side as well. A lot of different variety, a lot of sci-fi, which I really liked seeing. And a lot of really interesting cars and planes. It was just a really good and varied display. IPMS Stafford feature in a lot of the shows I go to. I guess because they are sort of Midlands and I tend to go to shows in the North Midland. But I must say, they are one of the friendliest clubs. They always speak to you when you're sort of having a look at models, and they're always very excited to show you different things. This World War One tank as well, although it seems my pictures weren't as great as I thought, did have some lighting in, as well as this replica of Battlestar Galactica, which, as I'm rewatching the series at the moment, I was really excited to see this, and it looked so cool. Just an absolutely stunning display. Well done on this. They had a lot of other things on here as well, such as this replenishment of this Spitfire, and I'm assuming this is J188, I think. And this, they said it was that their partner said they wanted to have some people rather than just planes. Coventry and Warwickshire are another one of the clubs that I see fairly regularly, and yet their display seems to change with every single show. In fact, we saw these at Bolton, if you remember, and if you haven't seen that video, make sure to go and check out the Bolton Model Show. It was the first show I went to this year, and I guess I've been to a lot less than I have done before. This is sort of still a very varied stand, and I like that everything's always slightly different. I like the sort of alt history on here as well, with this sort of panzer tank. Very much reminds me of the game Iron Harvest. It's just really interesting to see such different perspectives of history. Trains never get too much of a look in at model shows, so it's always nice to have them represented as well. Certain Spartans here have a very bold backdrop to their models, and it really does help their models pop. So also right at the front there in the yellow scheme, and these cute little penguins at the front as well. Now, if you know me, you've already know which aircraft I've been drawn to on this table, though in hindsight I wish I'd got a picture of the Sunderland as well. Very sad that I didn't get that. Following on from this amazing winter scene, we have the SM82, and I just absolutely love this, and the camo is done spectacularly. We then have a Whitley, and that is followed by our next club, Sutton Coldfield Model Makers Society. In contrast to the red of before, we have the green. You see a tadpole right in front of us there. I think that's called a tadpole. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. We have an F-35 and the X-32, which is the Boeing competitor. I guess that's probably an X-35 actually, to go with the X-32. We have a MiG-25, and then I believe this is Warhammer, but I don't buy it too much. We get sort of Age of Sigmar here. I'm unsure which this is, and I wish I'd asked. It sort of looks like Curtis, but also looks like a PT1. And then we have this tornado and this daring scheme. Southstack's mother. Can never say that, for some reason it just doesn't fit into my mouth very well. Kind of love the more unusual things in this table. So we've got this Austin Putilov, and then we've got the Whippet. What an awesome name for a tank. And then this Renault tank here as well, being given instructions. I thought this was a really cool scene, so I took a couple of pictures of this. I really liked it. Love old French tanks as well, they just look so amazing. We then headed over to ASVC Malta for Womborne. Again, I can just never say that. They also had a BSG, and then they had an F-18. I think that's the Maverick one as well. Really cool looking F-35 there as well. Bristol Scout looking as awesome as ever. And Mist Hanover with the amazing World War I German colour schemes. Leicester Modelers. You saw the lifeboat at the top there. Again, a really varied display, and one of the first displays to have some child entries, or at least very obviously marked child entries. I may have missed some previously to this. Hopefully not, because I do try and make sure I keep an eye on them. So I think it's really important to show the next generation of modelers, because they are ultimately what is going to keep this hobby alive. There is an A10 by Oliver, aged 10. Then we've got this dramatic Huey scene, and this Japanese Phantom that just looks spectacular. And then move over to the Leicester modelers. They had this A6M, the Zero, which had a spinning prop and some sound. Also look at Thomas's tank next to it. After that, we're having a look at the Sea Harrier. I always loved this colour scheme, even though it was very improvised when it came out. And this Hamov, is it the K50? We're then over to IPMS Birmingham with their purple and, I want to say, maroon colour scheme. A lot of interesting helicopters on here. And then the centrepiece is all of red. The M&M is such a choice. Now, what was really fascinating on this table was the amount of scratch-built models, mostly because I had no idea they were scratch-built, and they pointed it out to me, and it's absolutely shocking, because one of them in particular, I just didn't even think was going to be scratch-built, which is here, this Skyline, like, absolutely incredible. And then we have this sort of horse-drawn, sort of bus, I guess. And Canal Boat as well, which I think just looks amazing. I love seeing these sort of real life schemes. Another unknown table. This was a lot of trains and U-boats. Not sure who this belongs to, but let us know in the comments. We then head over to Staffordshire Moorlands Modelers. Now, I think we've seen a couple of these things so far at Bolton, but they have again an ever-changing display. A lot of dinosaurs, which you don't see on a lot of other tables, so it's really nice to have that representation here. I do remember this Dorado float plane, seeing that a couple of times, and it still looks as good as the first day I saw it. Doctor Who, and Blomvoss as well. And we have something that caught my eye right at the end. Yep, that's it. It's the Breda, because we all know I love Italian aircraft, and how can I say no to the BA-65, which was a dive bomber that was not particularly successful. Models for Hero got also at the show, a really important charity that helps veterans do modelling in order to help them with a varied range of mental health difficulties. Heading over to Abingdon with that black and yellow, really actually one of the most striking stands, especially because they put all the yellow aircraft in the middle as well, sort of training aircraft. We got a Belgian F-104 and a Japanese F-15. Took a picture of the Belgian F-104 because I just thought it looked awesome. And we've got this Royal Canadian Air Force Harvard T6 and this C-205 Veltro with the Regia Aeronautica. Wolverhampton, another stand we see quite regularly, and the second child entrance that we see at the model show. Again, really cool to see more entrants who are from younger people who are going to be the future of the hobby. This one is from Bradley, aged 11, and this is a Supermarine Swift. Really lovely to see that. There is one more that we see at the very end of the video, and then we got a Raiden here, which we named our cat after a Raiden. This is Norman Otti. This is art in miniature. Now, I'm not going to know a lot about some of these, so I've taken pictures of things that are just really interesting to me. Another stand I'm not going to know super well, but F1 and Motorsport. Of course, this is really great for people who like cars. I'm just not one of those people. But I always feel it's important to feature them in my videos because I can still appreciate the craftsmanship of the cars. And we are at our final table of the day. This is IPMS Gloucester. I've never actually been to their show, unfortunately, just due to my own times, but they have such a cool stand. Or maybe my favourite of the day, only because of a couple of little goofy things that I just absolutely fell in love with on this table. So we do have things like this A6 style Walker, which reminds me of something from Command & Conquer 3. We have the B-Wing, which is my favourite Star Wars fighter. We have the Star Wars Episode 1 tank, the droid tank. And we also have a HMS Horror, which is a destroyer. But then we have the Zoid as well. Like, it's just such a wildly different display. And then Director, and yes, I am saying that in the name of the song, because that's how I remember the name of it. A few little extra bits from the contest area, so we have, again, the final child entrance of the day. I just thought that was a really cool display. And then we have the influence heavy artillery, which I just couldn't get over. So yeah, thanks for joining me on this adventure to Blue Lamp Model Expo 2024. I really enjoyed my time at the show. It is a smaller show compared to a lot of the shows I go to, but that meant it was not too overwhelming and it was just a nice little day out. I think entry was £5 per adult. I wasn't showing children, so I didn't go with any children, obviously. So yeah, really affordable, lovely little show, and just sort of at the south end of Birmingham, I think. I'm not too sure. I don't know that area too well. But thanks for joining me, guys. Bye! Thank you so much to anyone who watches the channel, likes the channel, subscribes to the channel. I can't do this without you. I know I haven't uploaded as much as I could have, and that's just because life has been quite a lot. But like in a good way for once. But I just want to say thank you so much to all of you. I've still got my 2 longest subscribers, Explosive Water and Crazy Loacher, and the rest of my advanced kit crew, which is Bob and Genevieve Albridge, David Barber, Taggers365, Jeff's Dioramas, and IG. Thank you so much, guys. If you like what you've seen here today, make sure to hit that subscribe button to be notified of new videos as and when they go up. I do aviation and model making related content. There's a video here recommended just for you as well, so let's go and hang out together.